They switch. Bob Carrington. Oh, Wemby pinned it against the backboard.
It's so easy to forget that Wemby is just a 20-year-old baller still learning this beautiful game, especially when you consider the way social media critics come for him anytime he has a bad game or hits a rough patch. But let's be clear, Victor Wembanyama is many things, and overrated is not one of them. He is a budding superstar growing at a massive pace to be the most complete player the NBA has seen in a long time. You can just feel it anytime he steps onto any court. He is that guy. Join us as we look at why Wemby is the future of NBA basketball and the incredible strides he's making towards greatness. And as always, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Victor Wembanyama's 2024 and 25 season hasn't been without its challenges, considering he's part of a young Spurs team, but the level he's playing at is nothing short of transformative. Early in the season, the Spurs struggled to find a rhythm and consistency in closing out tight games, which seemed to affect Wemby's form briefly. Predictably though, slight digs and the overhyped agenda by short-sighted critics started popping up on the internet about Wemby. However, the moment he found his rhythm around November, it became clear Wemby was about to silence the doubters, and he has done just that, delivering a string of breathtaking performances that have cemented his status as a generational talent. What many casual observers fail to grasp is just how much Wemby has elevated his game this season. After a promising rookie year, the young phenom has taken his game to new heights, and critics have had to choke on their imaginative analysis. His scoring average has surged to over 23 points per game, coupled with nearly 10 rebounds, 3 blocks, and improved shooting efficiency, including a noticeable uptick in his three-point percentage across the board. These numbers don't just reflect growth, they signal elevated confidence on Wemby's part. Since breaking out of his early season slump in November, Wemby has been on an absolute run, averaging 29 points, 11 rebounds, and nearly 5 assists per game. As expected, his defense remains phenomenal, but what's really stood out is how he's incorporated more three-point shooting into his game, attempting an impressive 11 threes on average. This little tweak has paid dividends for the Spurs, who now outscore opponents by an average of 7 points whenever Wemby is on the floor. If these impressive numbers don't convince you that Wemby is on his way to becoming a two-way force capable of dominating both ends of the court, I'm afraid nothing else will. Standout performances that defined his season. While there have been quite a handful of incredible moments from Wemby already this season, one of these standout moments will be his performance against Sacramento a couple of weeks ago. Facing the Kings, who have 3 all-star players on their roster, Wembanyama transformed into a force of nature and bamboozled them all, dropping 34 points and grabbing 14 rebounds. From hitting turnaround jumpers to pulling off triple handoffs, Wemby dominated the game effortlessly. His defensive prowess was on full display throughout the game with 3 blocks, including a crucial one late in the fourth quarter that sealed the game for the Spurs. Wemby's enhanced physicality, a product of off-season conditioning, has allowed him to battle in the post more effectively, while his decision-making has become sharper, resulting in fewer turnovers and better playmaking for his teammates. This matchup highlighted this improved physicality as he battled Sacramento's big men in the paint and came out victorious. Offensively, he also showed his versatility, hitting contested jumpers, finishing in traffic, and even dishing out 6 assists, a testament to his growing court vision and leadership. After facing criticism for his three-point shooting last season and earlier this season, Wemby didn't shy away from the challenge. Instead, he responded emphatically, not only attempting more threes, but sinking them at a significantly improved conversion rate of 37.8%, which is a massive leap from his rookie numbers. This confidence in his shot has added a new dimension to his offensive arsenal, making him an even bigger nightmare for defenders. I'm sure you'll agree with this sentiment if you watch the Sacramento game. In fact, over the last 10 games, the Frenchman is second for 3 points made. But the most intriguing highlight that makes this stat even better is that Wemby is the only 7-footer in the top 30 of this list, showing just how difficult it is to pull off some of the things he's doing at his size. Wembanyama's biggest display that showcased just how much his offensive skills have evolved is undoubtedly his 50-point explosion versus the Washington Wizards. Following his 34-point display against the Sacramento Kings, Wemby came into this game brimming with confidence, and he lit up the Wizards in many ways with a stunning career-high 50 points, cementing his place in NBA history as one of the youngest players to hit such a milestone.
Here comes another one.
Thought about it, now he takes it. Victor Wembanyama!
A 20-year-old tearing the court up with a 50-point display in 26 minutes feels almost impossible to imagine, but Wemby made it look so easy. He was unstoppable that night, scoring from everywhere on the court, pull-up threes, mid-range jumpers, and electrifying dunks. You name it, Wemby did it all. His defense was equally impactful, recording 3 blocks and altering countless shots. The highlight of the night was undoubtedly the sequence where he blocked a layup attempt, sprinted down the floor, and drilled a deep 3, sending the crowd into a frenzy. This performance showcased not just his scoring touch, but also his ability to control the game on both ends. A beautiful insight into the kind of player he's becoming and the havoc he will wreak in the NBA in the next few years. A few weeks ago against the Jazz, Wemby once again demonstrated why he's a generational talent. His 34-point performance was characterized by efficiency, shooting over 60% from the field. Wemby was dropping threes and defending really well. You'll almost think it's 2 different players sharing one body. One of the standout moments came in the third quarter when he scored back-to-back points, including an impossible one-handed alley-oop dunk that had commentators calling him unstoppable. On defense, his presence was felt throughout the game, as he recorded 3 blocks and forced turnovers that swung momentum in the Spurs' favor. Beyond the numbers. Wembanyama's improvements aren't limited to his stat sheet or his offensive skills alone. His increased physicality has made him a better defender in the post, while his refined footwork and decision-making have minimized turnovers, making him a more efficient player. If you've managed to catch some Spurs games, you'll realize how mature he has become. He has always displayed an impeccable level of maturity, but he has grown in that aspect a lot too. He seems to have embraced his role as the Spurs' cornerstone and their go-to guy. Even as the team battles inconsistency, his ability to rally his teammates and deliver in clutch moments has kept them in the playoff conversation, an impressive feat given the Spurs' youth and inexperience. With his defensive abilities, offensive versatility, and undeniable imposing presence on the court, Wembanyama has silenced the doubters and solidified his position as not just a future MVP contender, but a player capable of shaping the next era of NBA basketball. He's not just keeping the Spurs competitive, he's also inspiring hope, and there could be another NBA legend to follow players like MJ and LeBron. Don't forget, this dude's just 20 years old. The future GOAT conversation. Victor Wembanyama's rapid development on both ends of the floor has cemented his reputation as the future of the NBA. His offensive explosion this season, combined with his unmatched consistency on defense, makes him not just a budding star, but a player with legitimate MVP potential. Standing at 7'3", Wembanyama is a rare breed of player. He's got a towering presence with guard-like agility and skills, and his shot-making ability has become even more silky smooth this season. The fact that he talked about improving his three-point accuracy and actually doing it despite the constant criticism shows just how much he's willing to put in the work and learn. Now, his growing confidence in handling the ball in recent months has made him a mismatch against virtually any defender. Whether he's pulling up from deep, driving to the rim, or facilitating for his teammates, Wemby's offensive versatility is breathtaking, and it'll only get better. Let's not forget the hard work he put in preseason in bulking up physically. It has been a big plus for Wemby this season in both the offensive and defensive sides of his games. Yes, he's not perfect. No one really is anyway, but the fact that he's always trying to be better than he was in the previous game is a great characteristic that'll help him navigate the challenging moments throughout his career. On defense, his elite rim protection, highlighted by his league-leading blocks, makes him a dominant force. He doesn't just protect the paint, he changes how teams approach their entire offensive game plan. Believe it or not, Wemby is the real deal. If you look more closely, you'll realize Wemby combines the best attributes of generational talents like Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kevin Durant, and Anthony Davis. You're probably thinking, how is that even possible? Let me break it down quickly for you. Giannis brings unparalleled physicality and two-way dominance. KD boasts elite scoring at nearly 7 feet tall, and AD anchors defenses like few others. But Wemby's style is a combination of size, skill, and versatility, and it sets him apart from the rest of his peers, especially the ones in his age group. Wemby is not just a fusion of these players, he embodies them all. That's why we always say he is a true alien. Redefining the role of a big man uniquely. Traditional big men used to dominate in the paint and control the boards, but the game isn't the same as it was 20 years ago. Modern bigs play differently now as they have expanded their range, but Wembanyama has taken this evolution to another level. His ability to stretch the floor with a reliable jumper, initiate fast breaks, and even defend guards on switches makes him a positionless player. The crazy part? He does it almost effortlessly and makes it look simple even though we all know it isn't. He's one of those players who's going to reshape how scouts and coaches envision the potential of tall players. Wemby is proving that players of his height can move fluidly, shoot efficiently, and handle the ball without being a defensive liability on the perimeter. This ability to play multiple roles on both sides of the court is why analysts and fans see him as more than just a star. It always felt like he was much more. Let's talk about global impact and marketability. Wembanyama's influence extends far beyond the court. As an international player and a Frenchman plying his trade in the NBA, he is carrying on the global legacy of stars like Dirk Nowitzki, Yao Ming, and Luka Doncic. His marketability is enormous, not just because of his skills, but also his personality and charisma. He's confident, physically imposing yet humble. Wemby has already captivated fans worldwide, drawing new audiences to the NBA and expanding its global reach. Now imagine the level he could reach if he won MVP and a ring. From his towering stature to his humility and professionalism, Wembanyama is a marketer's dream. He hasn't won a whole lot yet, and endorsements are already piling up while his jersey is flying off shelves. His global appeal is undeniable, and as he continues to excel, he will undoubtedly become one of the league's premier faces. Can he lead the San Antonio Spurs back to glory? The San Antonio Spurs have a storied history, with legends like Tim Duncan and David Robinson leading the franchise to championship glory. Wembanyama, with his once-in-a-generation talent, has the potential to carry that torch. While the team is still rebuilding, Wemby's growth has given Spurs fans hope. If San Antonio surrounds him with the right pieces, sharpshooters, playmakers, and defensive anchors, he has the ability to lead the team back to the finals. His leadership qualities have already been evident this season, and he'll only grow more into it. Despite the Spurs' struggles, Wemby has remained a steady force, consistently delivering standout performances and inspiring his teammates. His ability to take over games and lift his team is reminiscent of the greats who came before him. If the Spurs continue to improve alongside him, they could once again dominate the league, with Wemby at the helm. MVP potential and the possibility of GOAT status. Wembanyama's potential to be an MVP isn't just hype, it's a logical conclusion based on his trajectory. At only 20 years old, he's already a top-tier defensive player and a rapidly improving offensive weapon. If he continues to refine his game, stay healthy, and lead his team, MVP trophies and championships are inevitable. The moment he wins one, the floodgates will open undoubtedly. The GOAT conversation is often reserved for legends like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. While it's early in his career, Wemby's unprecedented skill set and global appeal make it possible to imagine him joining that exclusive list. He's not just playing basketball, he's doing it on his terms and in the way it best suits his strengths, a mindset that'll be invaluable for him moving forward. So what do you think about Wemby's progress this season? Do you believe in the things he could go on to achieve? And what do you think about Spurs' chances this season? Share your views in the comments, and if you like basketball content like this, subscribe to our channel and leave us a thumbs up.